Halfway through the Clydesdale Bank 40 competition this summer, and Middlesex head the Group A table after a convincing 6-wicket win over Worcestershire at Lords, done with 26 balls to spare. Moeen Ali won the toss and elected to bat on a grey day in London, and the Worcestershire captain led from the front with a boundary in the first over, bowled by Corey Collymore. The visitors, filled with injuries, were forced to field an inexperienced side, and that included Adrian Shankar, a former second 11 player for Middlesex, whose CB40 debut was over quickly as he was bowled in Tim Murtaugh's first over. Even though he's only 21, Worcestershire relied heavily on Dutch international Alexei Kavezi, a quality player as shown by this stroke through the covers. Ali is skippering the Worcestershire side in the place of the injured Daryl Mitchell, and he too is an impressive youngster. He proved that by lifting Murtaugh for a 6 early on. The exuberance of youth nearly cost him a wicket though. Ali took a quick single off Anthony Ireland, who would have run Kavezi out by a distance had this throw been on target. These two were able to build a solid platform for their side, taking the total to 64 in the 12th over. Ali then skied an attempted drive off Gareth Berg and was caught by Dawid Malan after making 36. Berg then struck again, Neil Pinner's shot leading only to an edge through to John Simpson as he departed for 5. Now on 74 for 3 after 16 overs, Worcestershire needed Kavezi to bat through, and he looked capable of that as he headed towards a fine 50. He was just 3 runs short of that when he got a leading edge to a delivery from Collymore, the bowler pouching a simple catch. James Cameron still gave his side hope in spite of that loss, which had left Worcestershire on 102 for 4. He pulled Collymore for a 4 and then hit Tom Smith over the ropes for a big 6 with an excellently timed stroke. But Middlesex refused to let their visitors get on top of them by continuing to take wickets, and next to go was Matthew Pardo, who took his eye off a pull shot off Smith and was legged before for 11 at 125 for 5. There were a dozen overs left in the innings, and that was enough time for Cameron and Gareth Andrew to put together the best stand of the innings. Andrew favours the mongoose bat, and it served him well in this form of cricket, and was doing so again here as he struck the ball sweetly for 2 sixes in successive overs. In spite of his early maximum, Cameron had dealt mostly in 1s and 2s, but still reached a half century from 60 balls, an innings which had just about given his side a chance of a rare win in all competitions this season. The total passed 200, and Andrew then smashed Ireland for a third 6 as he moved on to an impressive 48 made from 34 deliveries. He then fell to his next ball. This time he just couldn't get enough leverage with his bat and skied Ireland to Paul Stirling at deep mid-wicket to end a partnership of 87 made in 11 overs. An over later and Worcestershire had completed their innings with a total of 217 for 6, with Cameron unbeaten on 60. So, needing 5.45 runs per over to win, Scott Newman and Malan knew that a good start would give them a great chance, and they opened up with 32 runs in the first 7 overs. They lost Newman towards the end of that 7th over. He top-edged to pull off Andrew and was taken by Pardo at long leg for 7. It was left to Stirling to come out at number 3 and put his side ahead of the rate with some cracking shots. His carefree style of batting near the top of the order has been extremely helpful to Middlesex in this competition this summer, and the Irishman was again doing his job superbly. Indeed, he'd raced a 41 from just 33 balls when he was out, misjudging the length of a delivery from Shaikh Chowdhury, but he had helped his side to a score of 94 for 2 in the 16th over to put them well ahead. Malan was excellent. He timed and placed the ball magnificently with some gorgeous shots. None better than this exquisite cover drive. He eased to his second CB40 50 of the summer with this shot. He made life look extremely easy as he got there from 60 deliveries, an innings containing 8 boundaries. He and Chris Rogers then took the game out of Worcestershire's sight with a perfect partnership for the situation. Malan continued to place the ball really well, while Rogers, after a slowish start, picked up his game with shots like this one. The two were able to add 85 in 15 overs for the 3rd wicket. Just 39 were required from the final 10 overs when Malan, on a runner ball 75, for once played a false shot to give Cameron a wicket with a catch at point. And in the following over, Neil Dexter edged Jack Chantry to Ali, who'd positioned himself perfectly at slip. Now 34 were needed from 8 overs, but Berg made light of that challenge with a delightful cameo. The rain had started to fall, but nothing could put Middlesex off the job at hand, and Rogers cut Ali to the fence to move on to 49. And his first one-day 50 for Middlesex followed. His had come from 58 balls with just 3 fours. And it was left to Berg to hit his 4th boundary to move on to 25 from 14 deliveries to win the game. It was a fitting end to a thoroughly professional performance from the Panthers, who won by 6 wickets with 26 balls remaining. They lead Group A after playing 6 matches and can now take a break for the CB40 until later in the summer. When it resumes for them in mid-July, Middlesex will have a great chance of making the semis.